Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all well. This is same actually Simon, just the way you're seeing here. Today we have a new topic and data analysis. We're continuing with the data analysis section, whereby we're going to look at the bottleneck analysis. I know many have written about bottleneck analysis. It's applicable everywhere. Meanwhile, for this one, I'm looking at just basic knowledge of bottleneck analysis. Without wasting time, let's look at what bottleneck analysis. So many scholars have written about it, so I would say the definitions are here. They are self-explanatory. You can read. But what I've generated is, in my own perspective, is a bottleneck analysis is a systematic approach we use to identify obstacles or constraints that do what? Slow down or limit performance of a process, a system, or a service delivery. Normally, the main goal of bottleneck analysis is basically to pinpoint the weakest point or link in a chain of operation uh, and find a solution to improve efficiency, effectiveness, and outcomes. However, in also simple understanding, we would say it's a point of congestion in a productive system that prevents it from what? Functioning at a full speed, just the way you look at a bottle. So now, when you look at this bottle I've put up here, you find that it's a full bottle. However, let's say we have drinks or water inside this bottle, and they are presented in those points. Just the way you say, inside the bottle, we have full set of items. That is, at this point, we're looking at it, water. But meanwhile, when we're pouring out, all this water can't be poured once, which means there's a space or a point that limits the pouring, which slows it down. So when it slows it down, definitely you find that the speed at this time, now we're figuring it into the production, you find the production slows down. So that's what we call a bottleneck. So we want to understand now the neck. Why are we not having a full flow? What is making this not flow well? What are the low-hanging fruits behind this that we need to look at to make sure the water flows out fully? That's what we are looking at this time. Now, there are some key aspects of bottleneck analysis you need to consider. One of them, I'm going to look at the identifying the bottlenecks. What are we looking at here? We're saying bottlenecks occurs when demand for a resource exceeds its capacity, leading to delay or inefficiencies. Now, in this aspect, I'm looking at the health, but for the colleagues who are in other fields, this is also applicable. What you need is to have the knowledge. When you have the knowledge, it can be applied anywhere. Bottleneck analysis is not limited here, it's applicable everywhere. So in health systems, specifically where I am from here, now this bottleneck could be limited to health workers, insufficient in the medical supplies, or long-term. This is just an example where it is you need to look at, especially when you're identifying a bottleneck. Even in project management, bottleneck could even include the funding delays, policy restrictions, inadequate monitoring and evaluation frameworks. All these need to be identified. Now, when you're analyzing the root cause as number two, the second aspect you are looking at, I know bottlenecks can be caused by resource limitations, e.g., just the way the funding, workforce, equipment, so many things. Some of these are just here as notes. As we'll be going through, you can read them, they're self-explanatory. We're still continuing the key aspects. There are four. Then the third is developing solutions. Now, what do you consider when you're developing solutions? You are looking at solutions that can be short-term, e.g., hiring temporary staffs, reallocating resources, or long term, which is maybe things like infrastructure expansions. If you find the road that we are, let's give an example. Causes of accident can be due to a small size of the road because they have so many vehicles going in sideways. So that one can be a bottleneck. When you deep dive into properly, then you find that the solution there can be openly. The thing needs to be expanded, whereby if you expand it, you reduce on the mortality along the road that is due to accident and injuries. So M&E where we belong, so of course we need to do continuous tracking of these performance indicators that will definitely help you to assess whether the interventions are effective in reducing the bottlenecks. So these four aspects are key before you start to look at developing a bottleneck. Then there's something called the DIVA, steps to bottleneck analysis. DIVA, in brief, D stands for diagnosis, I stands for interventions or intervene. Then you look at V, that is verify, then A, and just the way you see the diagram here. These are just steps to bottlenecks. Why am I giving you all these theories? Before you go into practical sessions, you need to understand theoretical what this is all about. That's why we're going through the theories before we step in there without wasting time. Under DIVA, of course, you need to have preparations. These preparations gears you to attack the DIVA very well. What am I saying? First DIVA, we're looking at diagnosis. What do we talk about diagnosis? What do you want to diagnose? You identify the performance gap. How do you identify the performance gap? You need to have the performance indicators you are going to look at. You need to identify the information sources or data collection sources. Then you identify the bottlenecks, identify the areas that are lagging behind, then analyze the root cause of the bottleneck. Now, under diagnosis, when we look at the performance gap, I'm going to summarize this into one. All in all, you need to identify the indicator. So when you identify an indicator, for example, we have identified that our fourth ANC has been frequently a problem in the country of Uganda. So when you identify this, you look at the performance. How has it been performing before you say it has been persisting? It means you have looked at like an annual data, quarterly basis, the trends are stagnant or they're going down. So when you look at that fourth ANC, we have a target, let's say a target of 80%, but you find all districts, or even the nation, is below 50. That one becomes a big bottleneck that need to be addressed. Not just a bottleneck, but these are human beings, and the health benefit that comes with fourth ANC is key. So you will be tasked to deep dive or go deeper into understanding why are our women not coming for or attending fourth antenatal visits. So for you to understand that, you need to take this process slowly by slowly. And the good news is we are going to practically look at fourth ANC based on the country data, maybe based on what is happening around the globe. Because right now, when you look at our country, if you look at the statistics that are published out, fourth ANC is not doing well. No, we want to understand what is it when you launch a bottleneck analysis there, what will come out for us to say that there is a problem around there. Now that was diagnosis. Two, interventions. You prioritize solutions. And you don't prioritize solutions alone, you prioritize solutions with the stakeholders. Then when you prioritize the solutions with the stakeholders, you define an implementation and M&E plan. You know, any work that is done without an M&E plan, my dear, it won't take you anywhere. You must have a plan. Even at home, and everything we do daily, always make sure you have a plan so that you're able to achieve your tasks very well. And then, of course, you now start to support the implementation in one or another way. Meaning, as we are going to the third diva, we're looking at verification. First verification, that's how you monitor frequently using the existing opportunities around. So you have an M&E plan that has also indicators that we use to look at this. For example, now I talked about ANC4. So now when you are verifying all this, you need to look at how long are we monitoring this? Is there progress? Is the bottleneck still ongoing? So you need to be upstairs. The verification is looking at authenticity and seeing whether these things are real, things are going on in order. Then the last one is adjust, whereby that's just like you take corrective actions to ensure the impact is there. Let's proceed. Applicability of bottleneck analysis. Just the way I told you earlier, it's everywhere. In healthcare, we use it to improve health service delivery. For examples are there. In project management, it helps us in identifying delays in funding, procurement, and reporting. Supply chain, it identifies weak points in logistics, such as stockouts or transport delays. And I will request everyone who is watching this, please make sure you try one example. It helps you a lot. Now, let's get to the practical example of bottleneck analysis for fourth antenatal attendance for pregnant mothers in our country, Uganda. Why did they choose fourth antenatal care? And why is fourth antenatal care considered as a key national health indicator? And what impact does it have on the health and well-being of these pregnant mothers? When you look at fourth ANC visits, just this is a preamble why I would talk about it here, why I would pick it. Fourth ANC is considered as a national indicator because it reflects the adequacy and the continuity of antenatal care service, whereby it basically measures the proportion of pregnant women who complete at least 4 antenatal visits during their pregnancy. And this indicator is very crucial for tracking maternal health outcomes, identify gaps in service delivery, and ensuring adherence to WHO recommendation. Let's get into the bottleneck analysis for fourth ANC. We're using the 3 key aspects. Here, I'm bringing in the determinants, the indicators, and percentages. This slide is very brief, and I believe we concentrate here because it's where now everything falls into. When you're doing bottlenecks under determinants, we're looking at commodities, human resource, physical address, initial utilization, continuous utilization, and effective or quality coverage. What are we looking at here under determinant? When we talk of determinants, let's get to one of the determinants as we are looking at fourth ANC. Someone would say, in our normal data analysis, when we say fourth ANC is low, someone will start to say, women in that side, these are, a lot of funny word things come out, and which we have been talking about it, but the issue is persistent. It has not changed. We talked about this for so many years, up to date. If you run the fourth ANC countrywide, it's a problem. It's a problem. So we need to understand, in my perspective, we need to understand why is it a bottleneck now. So when you look at the commodities for fourth ANC, you need to understand that this fourth antenatal only, this indicator is related to mothers. That's one thing you need to know. Always when you're analyzing data, you need to understand the indicator you're looking at. What is it attributed to? So here we're looking at mothers only. So now, under the mothers, what is connecting us with these mothers here is pregnancy. So what do we need? What's the first thing? Because now these are the low-hanging fruits that we normally don't see. We do judge up there. The mothers don't want to come, they feel lazy, A, B, C, D. Those are the complicated reasons we give. However, when you dig deeper under this, one of the indicators under this fourth ANC, let's dig deeper. we are going to look at availability of HCG testing kits. That's the first thing we should have been looking at, and it's what I'm pointing here as number one. Out of all the days we are looking at here, before we accuse these mothers of late coming, do we have the HCG kits? What is an HCG kit? It's the first, it's a test for a pregnant mother for the first time during a pregnancy. For example, let's look at the last 4 or 5 months. Do we have any stock out or days out of stock within maybe the region, the country, the facility we're looking at here? Here I'm looking at a region or a facility, but for this one here specifically, I'm looking at a district where I'm not going to mention the name here. Here it's just for the purpose for you people to go back and sit down, you understand. So when you look at the how to populate these days out of stock for HCG, we are looking at the stock cards. These districts, did we have all the stock cards for the last 4 months? If you have, yes. Were we having the stocks available for these mothers at the facility? So when we dig deeper, if we found that yes, there was a availability of HCG kits both at the district and facility. They were there. Now, there were some few days that where the stock out was not there. However, later on, there were stocks. That's why you are seeing the availability of stocks, it's at 85%. So, how that is populated, you look at the number of days out of stock. So, out of the 90 days we had, they only had a few days that were really stock out. So at least 85% of the district and facility, 85% of the facilities within the district were stocked with HCG testing kits. So this one tells us that we do not have much problem with the commodities, especially the HCG kits. So at this time, it's not more like a bottleneck. It's on average as a bottleneck. Now let's jump to determinant number 2. Since we have the HCG testing kits, the commodities, is the human source there? Do we have the position fields with the midwives and the lab staffs? This is what we are looking at. Here, when you are calculating position fields, you look at, for example, facility. If this is a health center 4, how many midwives is it supposed to have? If health center 4 is made to have 4 midwives, then all the 4 positions were all filled for the midwives, and then one lab technician, and the health center 4 has all the lab technicians. It means we have 100% positions filled, specifically to manage this. So all the staffs are available. That's under human, so it's 100%. So that one disqualifies it being what? A problem or even a bottleneck. Now, when you look at the physical address, here we look at the number of functional what? VHTs. Now, in this area we're looking at a district, a health center for sub-counties. Each of these sub-counties have VHTs everywhere. So we look at do we have these VHTs? Yes. If they are yes, are they functional? Yes. Why do we need VHT in this analysis? These VHTs are very key at the village level. That VHT stands for village health teams. Now, these are people who represent us as health workers from facility to the villages. They are supposed to be telling these mothers how important it is to go to health center to attend antenatal from 1 up to 8. As we are rolling 8, but 4 is very important. So you need to make sure you attend all the antenatal visits. Not only antenatal, even the health, anything to do with the health. That's why they call them village health teams. They represent us, so they're supposed to do what? Convey our messages to the village, the community. That's why they're here. So in this analysis, we looked at all the VHTs are there, they are functional, so 100%, they're not bottlenecks. Now, initial utilization, we're going to begin with ANC1 coverage. How is the ANC coverage in this area? The ANC coverage in this area is very perfect. 95% ANC coverage. It is very okay. That is fine. However, if this ANC1 coverage is okay, mothers are coming for ANC1. Let's dig deeper. Are they coming on time? That's why we're bringing first trimester here. Yes, mothers are coming in the first ANC, but are they coming on time? Recommended below 13 weeks, that is 0 to 12 weeks. Are they within that range? You can see where the biggest problem is. Our mothers don't come on time here. It's a countrywide issues. Mothers come late for first ANC. Let's look at continuous ANC, where our fourth ANC coverage is. Our fourth ANC coverage is at 75. Meanwhile, first trimester is at 43. So now, let's look at the quality and the effectiveness of this. Definitely, delivery coverage will go down. That is at what? 68%. So our delivery coverage is down. So when you compute all this, for you to get a bottleneck, you will have to get these indicators against the percentages. Just to have populated them here, then you arrange them in sequence to find out what is actually exactly bottleneck we're looking at here. Imagine we were looking at fourth ANC as a problem, but you find that as fourth ANC is the problem we're looking at persisting, kumbe it is actually triggered by the first trimester. And logically, this one comes out. If a mother is coming for first antenatal late, very late, first antenatal, you are coming very late for your antenatal. Trust me, by the time when you are coming for second or third visit, it's when you are going to deliver. Now, when you are coming late for your antenatal one, there are a lot of risk factors that are associated. When they may diagnose you very late with hypertension, with a lot of things, you are anemic. So those are things that leads to poor delivery outcome for both a mother and a baby. And those are the reasons why we definitely have a lot of perinatal, neonatal deaths, maternal deaths. Basically, these things look like jokes, but in the long run, they become a problem. So in this, actually, our first bottleneck here is mothers coming late for first antenatal. Is the one that is making the fourth ANC coverage very low. So in this video, as you are looking at here, I've already given you the bottleneck, the issues that are at hand. The top three, that is the first trimester, low first trimester, you can see delivery coverage is even very low. Fourth ANC coverage very low. Now you look, when you get here, actually fourth ANC becomes like a third bottleneck or an issue to be addressed. The first issue is first trimester. Now, for someone who is here, who can take on this, this whatever we have been talking about here, I would request you in your own time, do bottleneck analysis for first trimester, ANC. You will understand what you will come up with, and it may help you. Because me, I know in this country of ours, these three actually, in reality, they are the problems we need to iron out. So, whoever is watching there, the key decision makers in the country, everywhere, the DHOs, everywhere you are looking at here, fourth ANC for now is not actually the biggest problem. If we address ANC1 first trimester, early ANC, if you address this, definitely the rest will go up. Just they say the curve will go automatic. So that one shouldn't be a problem, because it's even here, it is pointed out that it's actually a minor that's at 75%, but 43%, the one I put in red, needs to be addressed. Thank you for that. Now, causes and management analysis for identified bottlenecks. Now, these bottlenecks have been talking about all their underlying issues when you want a root cause analysis, proposed solution, activities to address. They're all here. I beg to stop here, and I request my team please subscribe and like and share it widely so that we keep in touch. In case you have issues, you want to get in touch with me, my contacts are there, my emails are there. So feel free to get in touch with me. Thank you. Be blessed. And questions are allowed. Please continue contacting me as usual. Thank you.